Hi and welcome back to this lesson where I'm going to show you how to analyze the data that you've gathered from your audience. Okay, so look, you may not have enough data yet, but I'm including this video here and you can come back to it at any time. And this is the kind of logical place to put it because it's right after research. And you can always refer back to this once your data set starts to grow, okay? And you can do the analysis at any time, but for the best results, honestly, I recommend that you have at least 30 different responses for both of the questions, 30 each, okay? All right, so first of all, I'm just going to walk you through what we'll be doing, and I'm going to do this live in a moment using my data. And we're going to be creating between 6 and 10 what I call buckets, okay? And what I mean by that, it's kind of like categories that you can fit the answers into. It'll become clearer when we start going through this exercise, okay? So this is not an exact science, and sometimes you're going to have to squeeze, some of the responses into one of the buckets, even if it's not a perfect fit. Some of the answers will be ambiguous and they could fit in two of the buckets, so you're going to have to use your judgment. It's going to be a little bit subjective at times. So it's not an exact science, but you'll see why we do that and how it works as we do it, okay? And I'm going to walk you through it in a moment, so don't get hung up on this for now. All right. Now this is important. As you work through the spreadsheet, you'll find that the original, your original selection of buckets, it may change and evolve as you go through. And that's perfectly fine. This is an iterative process. You're not going to go through and get it perfect the first time. Take a couple of passes at it and get it as clean as you can, okay? And just get as close to 6 buckets overall as you can. And no more than 10. If it's 4 or 5, that's fine. Ideally about 6, but certainly no more than 10. All right. And once the buckets are completed, just double check them one more time, make sure you're happy with them, and then we're going to add a filter to the table in the spreadsheet. Don't worry, I'm going to walk you through it, it's not too technical, so that we can find out which one is the biggest bucket. And like I say, don't worry, I'm walking you through this in a moment. And that filter will help us to find what the biggest bucket is, so that we can then focus on that when we move to the next step, which is using a word cloud or some sort of word analyzer. I recommend Tag Cloud to help us analyze the text so that we can start to capture the words and speak in your ideal client's language and words rather than your own, okay? All right, so let's go and jump over to the spreadsheet now, and I'll walk you through how to do this. Okay, so this is my spreadsheet with my data in here, and obviously you'll be doing it in this tab here, but I'm on this one here. So what I'm going to do now is just give it my first pass and go through and try and create a bucket for each one of these as I go, and then put them in the same buckets. But let's start with these. So first of all, I've got not having a defined niche, so not knowing who to connect with, so I'm just going to call that niche, okay? Niche, and try and keep these categories to one word if you can. Keep it really simple. Approach to acquiring leads and scheduling sales calls. So I'm going to call that. I'm going to call it lead gen. Already broke my one-word rule there. I'm not clear on what actually works and how I shall communicate how to attract clients. I'm going to call that. I'm going to call that knowledge, because I'm going to call it LinkedIn knowledge. LinkedIn knowledge, or lack thereof. Getting people to respond. I'll come back to that one. Knowing how to use it well, definitely LinkedIn knowledge. So I'm just going to put a dash in there for now to make this easier. And then LinkedIn knowledge. Not familiar with the ins and outs and how to optimize my reach, and land by messaging. Okay, I'm going to say that's LinkedIn knowledge as well. Learning how to use it, definitely LinkedIn knowledge. I don't use it much right now, and that's an issue. Okay, seeing a pattern here. Finding clients, I'm going to call that lead gen. Turning my engagement and my followers into leads and finding paying clients. I have a good feedback on my content and people reach out to me to explore how we can work together, but they're B2B and not B2C. I'm going to call that follow into leads. I'm going to call that, I'm going to call it lead gen. We can always come back. All right, knowing how to generate interest in my services. That's kind of general marketing, I think. Consistently attracting ideal clients on a monthly basis. Let's put that in lead gen. Moving from contacts to sales meetings. Contacts to sales meetings. Lead gen for now. Have to learn how to use it properly. That's definitely knowledge. My previous page got blocked by admin and I had to start over. It feels overwhelming. I'm going to put in knowledge for now. Making a regular presence on it. Responding to relevant posts promptly and regularly. I'll put it on knowledge for now. Get leads is lead gen. Oops. Finding time to access information and knowing how to use a platform. Knowledge. Not being active enough on it and I just not fully, okay, there's a lot of knowledge gaps. Visibility, right audience. Gotta put that as marketing. I need to make my profile more inviting. I need to learn how to post the best things and how to respond to all the people in my inbox. I'm just going to put in knowledge. My reach isn't enough to bring in stable income as I'm a freelancer. Lead gen. Being relevant. Marketing. Reach. I'm going to come back to that. Getting traction for my scorecard quiz. Getting traction for my scorecard quiz. That's interesting. I'm going to go marketing for that. Don't know how to optimize it. Definitely knowledge. Nothing really. I've been lazy about posting my accomplishments. Let's go back to that one. It's not as professional as it should be, and it's not giving an opportunity to be selected to show your talent and ambition. Well, yes, say knowledge. First, I'm not sure if I can attract clients from LinkedIn. I have my doubts about it. Second, I don't know where to find the right niche for my business because I need to connect with those people first. And okay, so I'm just going to keep going down these. All right, I'm not going to bore you anymore, and I'm going to try and I'm going to count the buckets I've got. See if I. So I'll finish these. I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to finish these, and then I'm going to come back and do a second pass and show you guys how to do that. Okay. Okay, so I've taken a second pass at this and I've changed a couple of little things. This one here, I've moved to messaging, getting people to respond. I've decided that that's messaging. I've just gone and filled some of the blanks. I've double checked that they make sense. You know, specifically, you know, for the specific categories. Let me just do one more pass and double check. Yeah, I've pretty much got I added one here for mindset as well, where people, you know, I don't think my TA is here. I just think some of these are mindset. Feeling like an imposter, definitely. Time, I mean, that's definitely mindset. If you think you haven't got time, that's all in your mind. So I've ended up with, I believe, 6 buckets, but we'll count them in just a moment. Okay. So now that we've done it for this, let me show you how to figure out how many buckets you've got and figure out which is the biggest one. So the first thing we're going to do, you need to click anywhere inside of here. So I'm just going to click there and then click on this little filter here. excuse me. And then it puts a filter. You'll see these little funnel type things appear here. If you click on that, then it shows you all of the different categories here. And you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wow, I didn't plan it that way, but I've got 6 buckets. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so that worked for me. But if you've got more, then you probably want to go back and just see if you can get rid of the ones that are least used and squeeze them into another bucket if you can. Okay, certainly if you've got more than 10. If you've got less than 10, I wouldn't worry too much about it. If you've got less than 5, maybe you've been too general. I was a bit worried that LinkedIn Knowledge was too general, but I'm pretty happy with it now that I've double checked it. And I got my 6, so it's pretty good. So, but if you've got less than 5, then you might want to just see if you can go a little bit more granular. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I think I already know which is which, but I'm going to click on that little filter. I'm going to select clear here, and I'm just going to go through them one by one. So I'm going to select that and then select OK. And then I'm just going to count them up. The easiest way to count them up is just select them all like this, and you'll see in the bottom right hand corner it says count 10. So in lead gen I've got 10. All right. So I'm just going to put them down here. And I'm going to go lead gen 10. All right. Then I'm going to go and do the same again. Unselect lead gen. Unselect LinkedIn Knowledge. Click OK. And do the same. I suspect this is by far the biggest category. I kind of already knew that about my audience. So we're just going to scroll all the way down here. And then you'll see we've got a count of 23. So I'm just going to write that in there. LinkedIn Knowledge. I'm going to put 23 there. Then I'm going to do the same for the next one. Uncheck that. And check marketing. All right, so we've only got 1. No, hang on, sorry, we've got more than 1. I had to scroll to the top. Let's just go down, and we've got 8. So marketing's 8. Is 8. I'm just going to double check LinkedIn Knowledge because I'm not sure I scrolled back to the top of the spreadsheet there. And I'm going to do that again. And yeah, 23. Okay. So I'm going to go messaging, uncheck LinkedIn Knowledge. And there is only 1 for messaging, so that's probably a bad bucket. Messaging 1. And then we've got 2 more to go. So uncheck messaging. Mindset 5. And finally, niche is 1. Niche is 1. So now that I can see that I've got a couple of sort of empty buckets there, that concerns me a little bit because they're probably not significant. So I'm just going to go back now and have a final pass at my data now that I know, how many things are in each bucket, and just double check maybe this is too general. I don't know. So I'm going to have a go and look at that now, and I will come back in a moment and show you what I find if I change anything, and then we're going to move on to the next step. Okay, so I've made a few changes and rethought it a little bit, and now it comes out like this. So I've got 10 for lead gen, 19 for LinkedIn Knowledge, 7, 3, 6, and 3. So that looks a bit better, and I'm pretty, I'm comfortable that they're the right ones. For example, niche, not having to find niche. Yeah, that works for me. Visibility to the right audience is a niche, and yeah, I mean this is clearly niche. So I've done that for all of them, and I'm happy with these numbers now. Okay, so now what we're going to do is just clear the filter. So the way we do that is we click on select all, and we're going to get everything back up there again. And now we're going to go to a website called TagCloud, and we're going to take a look at what's going on here. So I'm going to go over there right now. All right, so this is TagCloud. This is a free website, and I've dropped the link to this in the information underneath this video. So first of all, we're just going to do some general analysis. Okay, so we're looking at the challenge, and we're going to do a general analysis on what people say their challenge is. So I'm just going to copy all of that raw data, and I'm going to go to TagCloud, and I'm going to paste it in there, and then I'm going to click on visualize. All right, so you can see that there are words jumping out at me. Clients is in there a lot. Connect, people, known. So I'm just kind of going through, like looking at this visually, and try and pull out what I think is important. So for me, obviously, people and clients. Yeah, I think clients is a big one for me to put in there. Attract. I like that. Connect is a big one. Leads is a big one. Reach is another big one. So I'm going to just literally write those words down that connect with me. So I'm going to go clients, connect, leads, knowing is a good one. Knowing, reach. Obviously LinkedIn is obvious. I'm going to put people down anyway, although I think that's a very generic word. Learn, I'm going to pull out of there as well. And I think at the bottom I'm going to put attract an audience. Attract an audience as options as well. So I pulled out a bunch of words there. All right, so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and I'm going to filter on my biggest bucket only. So I'm going to select clear here, select LinkedIn knowledge, click on OK, and then I'm going to do the same exercise. Just select all of this text. Oops. Here. Go back to TagCloud, and let's just clear this. And by the way, you can save this if you want to. It might be easier, but I just like to write the words down as I go through. And then paste those words into there, and we're going to do the same again. Visualize and see how different it looks. All right, so you can see this looks quite different. So in another column on my page here, I'm just going to write the words down again. So clients obviously is a big one. Learn is a really big one. Learn. LinkedIn is obvious. Understanding. And I'm going to say works. All right, they're kind of the main ones. Did we get attract? So we'll miss attract. Let me put attract. Okay. So that's how we get our words and our theme. So the theme, although the theme is in my words, which is LinkedIn knowledge, we would, if I go through and look at the list that I've made here, the words that kind of relate to LinkedIn knowledge are learn, understanding. So learn and understanding are probably at least one of those words I have to get into my, my marketing messages and my LinkedIn headline. Okay. And then I'm gonna, I've got a bunch of other words that I'm gonna try and get in there. So we'll come back and do that in a moment. Well, we'll come back and do that later and show you how to, I'm actually going to update my LinkedIn headline based on this research. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and do exactly the same exercise for the outcome category. So I'll make two more, I'll figure out my bucket for this. I'll make two more lists of words the way we just did there. So I've got a general list of everything and then a more focused, targeted list just for what the biggest bucket turns out to be. And then I'm going to show you how we can use that to update our LinkedIn summary. So I'm going to pause this now, come back in a moment, and we'll talk about the LinkedIn summary, headline or summary, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so that part is complete, and just something interesting that I wanted to show you. So this is what I got for the outcome and the outcome categories, and actually two of them were very close. They stood out. So what I did was, instead of just picking the largest one, I combined both of these, so that if you look in the filter here, you'll see that I'm filtered on both of them, grow business and more clients. All right, so that's given me my two lists, and I'll just read out the words quickly to you. The general list was people, business, clients, generating, and freedom. And then when I focused it on these two, it came out to be business, clients, generating, able, and leads. So let's go over to my LinkedIn profile now and just take a look at my headline in my intro section, and let's review it against this exercise that we've just done. All right, I'll see you over there in one moment. Okay, so this is what I'm going to update now. So I'm not going to change this first part, the LinkedIn expert for coaches. That's a key phrase, and I'll talk about that later. But I'm just going to update this part. Before I do anything, I want to make a backup of my profile. So I think I do that in here. And where are we? I think it's down here. Get a copy of your data. Let me just pause and find out. Okay, so it's in here. Get a copy of your data, and all I'm going to do is click on this, and I don't need everything right now, so I'm just going to do this and get my profile, and then request archive. And then there is another way that you can actually make a PDF of your profile as well, so I'm just going to do that. Okay, so the way to just make a quick PDF backup is go back to your profile, and then as you scroll down, this little bar here appears. Click on the More button here and Save to PDF here. And it's saying your download will begin. All right, so for now I'm just going to save it on my desktop, and I'll move it somewhere more appropriate later, and I'm just going to click on Save. So that's created a PDF backup of my profile. All right, so now I'm going to go edit this very quickly and try and include some of those words and themes. All right, so helping coaches called. All right, first of all, I'm going to get rid of small businesses because that was an experiment. Now, learn was definitely on my list. I like that. But understand was also on my list as well. But I'm happy that it's learn. So, helping coaches, consultants to learn how to use LinkedIn to create more clients. So let's just have a look at that. Clients was a big one everywhere. Grow their businesses and make a bigger impact in the world. Impact didn't really come up at all. And create more clients, that did come up. Clients, knowing. All right, so let's just focus on the problem for a second. So this is the problem. how to use LinkedIn, learn how to use LinkedIn. Knowing which people learn, yeah. To attract was a big word, so I'm going to put attract there instead of create. Attract. All right. Then down at the bottom, let's just keep going over here. To attract more clients, grow their businesses, make a bigger impact in the world. Let's just double check that. People, business, clients, generating. Business came up a lot. To attract more, I think I'm going to put to generate more leads to, because both those words came up. Generate more leads, attract more clients. I'm going to delete that. I'm going to put and grow their businesses. All right, so what have we got here? Helping coaches and consultants to learn how to use LinkedIn to generate more leads, attract more clients, and grow their businesses. Okay, helping coaches, yeah, all right, I'm going to go with that. So that is based directly from my data. Let's see how it looks. The LinkedIn expert for coaches, helping coaches and consultants to learn how to use LinkedIn to generate more leads, attract more clients, and grow their businesses. Okay, I'm not 100% happy with that. I'll probably refine it a little bit and swirl it around, but that is my latest iteration of my health statement and my LinkedIn headline. Okay, that is it for this lesson. This was a little bit long. I'm sorry about that. This is something that you should do regularly. Analyze your data and check it against your profile, check it against your messaging and what you're saying to the world. It's really powerful using data. Collecting and using data will guide you where to go. But make sure that the data is coming from the people that you actually want to work with. Okay, so some of my data may come from people that I don't really want to work with, so I have to be careful and clean that up a little bit. But make sure that yours is definitely from the people that you want to work with. Okay, I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.